Brothers and sisters of African diaspora across the world, it is me once again, Dr. Bright Udemezwe. My message today is that African diaspora is not a footnote in Africa's history. Rather, it is one of the greatest untapped forces there is. History has already shown us what Africans abroad can achieve. Here we have the example of one of Africa's greatest sons, Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal. Senghor was not in Dakar when the foundations of Senegal's independence were being shaped. He was in France, at the center of the political system. Leopold Sedar Senghor, as an intellectual, a poet, a deputy in the French National Assembly, used his voice, his education, his strategic position to advocate for reform, dignity of the black race and Africa, and ultimately decolonization, not just of his dear country, Senegal, but of our beloved continent. All these he exercised from the Diaspora, which helped Senegal to independence in 1960. What lessons are there for us to learn from this our famous son, brother, poet, intellectual, a giant among men? He teaches us that geography does not limit destiny. He is today known more for what he did for his country, Senegal, from France, than being a top French parliamentarian. He teaches us that diaspora has no distance. He teaches us that being a diasporan is a leverage. He teaches us also that one of few Africans abroad in diaspora, armed with knowledge, conviction, and determination, can shift the course of their nations and even our continent. Now imagine what our famous son, Sedar Senghor, did. And now Africa diasporans are in their millions. Today, the African diaspora are larger, more educated, more connected, more globally influential than at any time in the history of our world. Amongst us are scientists, engineers, entrepreneurs, artists, diplomats, and innovators. We sit in parliaments, universities, laboratories, and boardrooms across the world. Yet, Africa still remains the poorest continent, hence waiting for us to act with unity, strategy, and purpose, for which Leopold Sedar Senghor embodied. If Senghor could influence a nation's liberation with no more than intellect, courage, and networks, then we Africans in the diaspora of today, with digital tools, global mobility, and unprecedented access, can do much more. We can build Pan-African research networks that shape policy. We can create a diaspora investment platforms that fund African innovation. We can strengthen democratic institutions back home through advocacy and expertise. We can mentor the next generation of African leaders. We can influence global narratives about Africa with authority and pride. Today, the question is no longer, can the African diaspora help Africa? The question is, will we choose? Will we decide? And will we act? Our continent, Africa, does not ask us to abandon our comfortable lives abroad. Our continent asks of us to use our position to lift her from where we stand, just as Senghor used his, to think boldly, to organize intelligently, and to enable collective action that led to the independence of his country. Brothers and sisters of African diaspora worldwide, let this message mark a turning point, a moment when the diaspora moves from potential to power, from memory to mission, from admiration of heroes to the creation of new ones. If Leopold Sedar Senghor could help liberate a nation from diaspora in the 20th century, surely we can build a prosperous, stable, and united Africa in the 21st century. And the time is now. The responsibility is ours. And the future of Africa is waiting for us to shape it together. Here ends the message of today. Once again, it is your brother, Dr. Bright Udemezwe, wishing you well wherever you are in the globe, as we work to lift our dear continent, Africa, at par with other continents of the world. Thank you for your attention, and God bless.